Hey guys, this is Candid and Called
with Emma
and Allie. Oh my gosh, this is so weird. I can't believe we're actually doing this. We were literally just sitting in a coffee shop like 2 weeks ago and we were like, what if we started a podcast? Basically why I wanted to start this was because I wish I had someone who was telling me what to do. Like we both started this so young that we just want to be a mentor and share our own personal experiences with the business world, with photography, with keeping Christ in the center of it all. And that can be really hard sometimes.
For sure.
So Emma, go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit and give us like a little background.
So I'm Emma G Photography. Me and Allison have known each other since middle school, but we kind of like fell off in high school and we both like ended up being on this track of photography and like in the business world. And overall, we kind of just started bonding off of that. And during this time is like always been so confusing and like, I don't know, just awkward in so many different scenarios because not many people are like our age and in the things that we're in a sense.
Right.
And it's so hard to like find
community.
Yeah, community during this. So this is like another reason why I definitely wanted to do this with Allison is because she really just understands this completely, and we both have definitely been branching out to like other photographers and other businesswomen as well and just hopping off of their journey and all, and we wanted to share our journey with people that are just now starting and give them courage and definitely to keep God in the center of it all, because that's like really how we have gotten this far in our journey is from like being rooted in God.
Right, that's how we've gotten this far, and it's also like how you keep your sanity, because I know me and Emma are both really hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
And so like without God, like I'd be crying every day. Yeah. Like, how do I make it? How do I get better? But we just want to help encourage people to do both, get better in your craft, get better in your faith. So what can people expect from this podcast? You can expect a lot of business talk, a lot of girl talk, a lot of friends talk, because friends come and go and partners come and go, which is why I'm so glad that I found Emma, because I just feel like we so click together.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think also you will gain a lot from like your struggles in life. Yeah. I feel like we're both very like open and vulnerable, especially when it comes to like the business world and like the business struggles, but also like our struggles in life and our struggles in faith. And I feel like this podcast would really just be like a girl talk surrounded by business and what we love to do, which is photography.
Yeah.
And she's a videographer and all these different things, and I'm still in the journey of figuring out what I want my main thing to be. So
we're figuring it out, and we're gonna do it with you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's tell the story of how we met, okay? How did our friendship grow?
Honestly,
do you remember the first time we met?
I don't.
I think I remember the first time we met. I think it was, so me and Emma both got picked from a lottery to go to this art school called SAIL. And so art school, that makes sense. We're both photographers now and in the creative world. But the school was just opening, so we didn't really know what to expect. But I met Emma on the first day of 6th grade. I remember that. And we were both in the same class.
Yeah, because there's only like 2 classes for each grade. So I think we were in class with each other every single year.
Yeah, it was a very small school.
Yeah. We kind of just went through all of middle school together, and then our school that we went to during middle school, it cut off at 8th grade at the time. So after 8th grade, a lot of people from SAIL honestly fell off, but we also followed each other. Like I followed Allison like all throughout high school.
Right, and we were best friends with like the same best friend at the art school, and so I was following her, and we both went to separate high schools. I went to Evans High and she went to
Harlem High School.
And I had no idea that Emma was doing photography until I really like got into it. And when you get into an industry, you start to recognize like, oh, like who's your competition? Yeah. Who are you up against? Sure. And so at first I was like looking at Emma's stuff and I was like, oh, like how do I be like her? How do I do better? You know, and you just get in like a competitive mindset with people until you really meet them and you establish friendships and you realize like we're all just trying to do our best and like there's really no sense in like hardcore competing.
I feel like that's like a thing that people are like kind of afraid to say in photography, but it is a competitive
Extremely.
business. And it's like hard to be competitive but also like friendly and kind at the same time, which I feel like a lot of like me and Allison, we definitely bounce off of each other a lot of times, but we still keep it very like, that's your business, this is mine, like you like go me.
Yeah.
But that's like another thing we wanted to start this podcast for, was to like show that you can be like partners and best friends when you're going after the same dreams, even though you're basically competing against each other still.
Yeah, like we're in the same playing field, but like I'm gonna encourage her, and like, you know, we still have to have like our driving motivation and stuff. Like you want to be competitive a little bit, but you should really just like have others motivate you to be better.
For sure.
So what were you like in middle school at the art school, Emma? Like, do you feel like art school kind of helped you go this direction, or do you feel like it had nothing to do with it, or what was your experience like? Because I feel like we might have had different experiences with sales specifically.
I feel like it definitely did give me the courage to like pursue art, because I do art on the side. Like photography is a big art in my life, but I also like paint and I draw and I sculpt and do all these different things. But I definitely think from going to Cell and like doing these things at Cell, like you were forced to, in a sense. Like some people that went to Cell weren't like art inclined, but they still like had to take like art classes and dance classes and drama. So I think it definitely gave me the courage to like go up on stage or like pursue my art and like show it to class, because now in the art classes I'm taking, I have to like stand in front of a room with like a whole bunch of people, and like with photography you have to be bold, and like you have to talk to the people that maybe aren't so talkative. Like a lot of clients I have are more introverts, and you have to like get them out of that to be comfortable in front of your lens. So I definitely think that Cell did give me a lot of confidence, but at the time I didn't know that it was gonna like bring me that confidence until later on in life where I'm at now. So I definitely think it did help me get to right here.
Yeah. I actually took a photography class. We called it curtain call because it was, you know, like after school. And so I actually took a photography curtain call class at our art school, but I really didn't think anything of it. Like I never thought about photography again. I was like, this is not what I'm going to do with my life. I loved dance whenever we were at Sale. That was probably my number one. And I probably could have told you like, oh, I'm going to be a dancer. And, you know, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So how did photography like specifically enter your life?
So I started photography, I believe it was junior year. I wasn't like, oh, imaging photography, but I had gotten a camera over Christmas, and I have two cousins that are photographers. Shout out them. But they definitely have helped me in a sense with this journey, because I've always been like, I love that. Like you get paid to like make art, and that's what I've loved doing, just not behind a lens. Like usually it's just with
performing, painting.
Yeah, dancing, twirling, like we did all those types of things. So I got a camera for Christmas, and then I just started taking my little cousin's pictures all the time. I started taking my aunt's pictures. I would take it to soccer games and take pictures of the boys, because I played soccer in high school. Like I just used it for fun, and then eventually people in high school, they were like, hey, could you take my pictures? And I was like, you know what? Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah. And then after that, it's just started flying by. Like it really doesn't feel like it's been 2 years since I started imaging photography, but it's definitely been growing and you have to learn as you go. So taking those people's pictures for free and like doing my friends' pictures definitely was like the start. Like you have to do that to start to where you're at
so
now.
You would say like you were just taking opportunities all the time.
For sure. it all became it was a gift, and then it became a job.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah. So whenever I started photography, we were both 16, right? We were both 16. So I was also 16, and I was in my junior year of high school, but I was in senior lit. So make sense? I don't know. It actually was because of the art school we went to, because I got a grade ahead in literature, and so I was in senior lit for junior year, and I had to do my senior project. And for that, you can pretty much pick any topic that you want to. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why do we do this project? I don't know. But for my senior project, I picked pursuing a career in photography because my graphic design teacher was a photographer, like outside of school. And so I was in graphic design. I was really into it. I was like a star student. And so I decided to like try to do photography with her. And so I shot my first wedding as a photographer when I was 16.
Crazy.
So I had never picked up a camera, like, except whenever I was in middle school for that little class. I had never picked up a camera, and like, I'm sure none of my pictures were even good for this wedding, but like, I had to do several events junior year for this project, and that's how I got into it.
Yeah.
And then senior year, I was just like, I was trying to take more pictures, and it was a slow start because my senior year was like busy, but right after I graduated, like, I was like, okay, this is the only option. I decided not to go to college, and we can talk more about that in a minute, but I just hit the ground running, or maybe more like walking, because it sounds like you hit the ground running, and Emma was just taking opportunity after opportunity, but like, I don't know why, but my approach was much more like selective. I was like, this is who I want to shoot with. I'm going to take this opportunity and then learn from that. And so I really started with mostly taking couples and seniors.
Yeah.
I didn't really like sports too much. I did like one sports game because of an ex-boyfriend who was an athlete. But like after that, we'll go into the ex-boyfriend lore in another episode.
Boys.jpeg.
Yeah. Anyways. But yeah. I just think it's really cool too that we both started at 16 and that we're the same age, like almost on the dot. We're like 20 days apart or something like that.
And I think it's like a full circle moment as well, because in middle school, like, we weren't best friends, but we were pretty close. Like, we hung out after school a couple times. Like, we had the same mutual best friend. And now it's like, I would consider us best friends. And we're like, it doesn't even feel like any time has really flown by. It's just like a part of our life was different. It's actually, it's crazy.
The high school development is where we were out of touch. But like, honestly, thank goodness, because high school is just
real.
you probably we probably wouldn't have been friends in high school, to be honest.
Probably not, honestly. I feel like we've definitely both became like totally different person from where we're at middle school to high school. Completely different people.
For sure.
And now we're like kind of back to our middle school vibes.
Yeah.
Which is like a good thing.
Yeah, you had to go through that like awkward phase.
Yeah.
And then you figure out that the things you were into whenever you were 11 are really just the things that you're into.
And it was harder for us to transition to high school because most of the, like, Evans High School and Harlem High School, Evans is a lot bigger than Harlem, but it's still, like, one of the smaller schools in our community, I feel like.
Yeah.
And Harlem is, like, one of the smallest. So when you go and you join a school that everybody has known each other since elementary school, it's, like, a big adjustment, and you want to try to, like, join their cliques and, like, try to fit in with these people. And we've only known the same, 40 kids?
Yeah, from our art school, yeah.
So
it was really hard to find a place, like, moving from art school to public school. Yeah. And that was probably part of the character development, for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Do you feel like there was something that was, like, driving you as a businesswoman, or, like, was photography what got you into the business world?
I feel like I've always been the kid that doesn't know anything what they want to do when they grow up. Like, I know people that I'm in college with now that have been pursuing this dream since they were little, and I just have never known. I've always been so unsure about what I wanted in my career, and when I started photography, I really think that that's when it was like clicking for me, that I really did love being a businesswoman. And not a lot of people, I feel like, see photography as like a business like aspect.
Yeah.
But it really is like you have to learn time management. You have to like be a boss.
Yeah, if you don't know marketing and photography,
Yeah.
like you're falling behind in the competition.
Yeah, and like we said, it was such a competitive thing. So if you're falling behind in like your business aspect, you could be really good at taking pictures, but you're not advertising, you're not posting, you're not like
Reaching out, public skills,
marketing at all, and then you're really gonna fall behind in like the race in a sense. So like photography being a business is a big thing, and I think that's when my photography started taking off. I was like, oh yeah, this is what I definitely want to pursue in life.
Yeah. I feel like I always knew I would be in some type of business. Like, I was the kid that was like in 4th grade and I was making stuff out of duct tape and I was like, here, give me like your school currency. We had these little Surbucks and you could buy something at the counter, like a candy, and I would like sell duct tape stuff for the candy at the counter.
Oh, and she was good at it. That is for sure.
And then like I would sell bracelets. So I feel like I've always had like an entrepreneur spirit. And then I took, like I said, graphics in high school, and I also took the business pathway. So I even had like a little coffee shop, shout out coffee. I had a coffee shop that I had to run my junior year as well. So junior year was crazy, but we had an entrepreneurship pathway, and to complete the pathway, you had to start a business in the school. And so I started Evans High School coffee shop. And so I've been doing a lot of business stuff, but whenever I decided I wasn't going to college was whenever I was like, okay, photography's just gotta be it, and this has gotta make the money.
Yeah.
Was there anybody who like inspired you? I know I had someone, like I said, my teacher, she was like my driving factor as in who I want to be, what industry I want to go into, and she's doing so many different things like graphics, and so I still do graphics. I'll do web design here and there, and then photography too. And it really got me into weddings too, which I know you like to do weddings now.
Yeah, new wedding girl. But I feel like my cousins and God, in a sense, have probably been like the top people that have like pushed me, which one of my cousins, she definitely helped me. Like, she helped me choose which lens I wanted to buy. Like, she would take me to her spots, to different fields and stuff, and really like show me the way of, oh, I like shooting in this area, I like shooting in this area. So when I've only taken like a handful of people's pictures, my cousin would bring me out there and be like, put them right here and you take their pictures right there. So she definitely was a big person that pushed me into it. Shout out Cassie Parrott Photography. But I think that I was very unsure during the time of me doing photography, and especially with it being senior year and it was really taking off and I was deciding whether I was going to college or not. I just kept on praying, like, give me a sign on what to do. Like, I don't know what to do with my life. So I think definitely just God placing these people in my path, and like these people that loved my work even when I didn't love it at a time, they still like encouraged me and were like, you're so good at this stuff. So I think God placing those people asking me for pictures and stuff really showed me like this is the way that I wanted to pursue. So
yeah, whenever I graduated high school, that was something that I was like really thinking about too, was like, Lord, do I go to college, do I not? And I had a lot of people who were pushing me to go to college. They were like, just get a business degree, after I had done years of business in high school. And then even whenever I applied to college, I applied to AU, and usually you have to go through a process. And the day that I applied to AU at my high school, the people were there from AU and they were like, you're accepted on the spot. And so the fact that I got accepted on the spot, because I had been setting myself up to go to college and have all these, credentials and stuff. And so they were like, you're accepted on the spot. And I was like, God, this is a sign. Like, I must be meant to go to college. And as we got like closer and closer to graduation, and then in the summertime when we were about to start that fall semester, I just did not have peace about it, and like I know I didn't have peace about going to college, but it was also really like hard and lonely to just be sitting there. Like I wasn't getting the clients that I wanted. I wasn't shooting all the time because I was more selective. And it was just like a lonely season for me right after high school before business really picked up.
I feel like a lot of people like around our town and our community, they like they push you to like go to college, and like you're not really like, I guess, mature and like good in your path in life if you don't go to college. And I know like a lot of people from my high school, like they didn't want to go to college, but their parents like forced them in a sense. So I feel like that's like another factor that maybe factored into your plan, and like my own plan was like confusion on whether to pursue photography or like to go to college and like waste those years and not pursue photography.
Right. Thankfully, both of my parents are entrepreneurs, and so that's probably where my knack for it comes. But they didn't force me to go to college. They actually didn't want me to go to college, and so for a long time, like, I was like kind of, you know, when you're a teenager, you're like rebellious, and so I was like, I'm gonna go to college in the farthest place possible. You can't stop me. And then when it came time, I was like, I can't leave home. I just didn't have peace about that. So thankfully my parents were maybe the only ones who were like, no, you can just stay home. And so I am really grateful for that.
That's like what like my main point was, like Allie is thriving right now and she's not in college, so like you do not have to go the college route. I mean, I'm not academically smart like whatsoever, and I know I'm like bashing college in a sense right now, but like I am on the college path right now. I'm an art major, and I'm like opening up to my like artsy side, that photography is involved in it, but it's also like painting and drawing and sculpting, which I've always loved, but I've never like thought of it in a sense of I can pursue this for my like life, like my work, my career. So since photography, I was like, I love photography, I want to do that for the rest of my life. It really like opened up, oh, you can like do your art and you can pursue the thing that you didn't think that you can pursue, and it can bring you a career as well. So right now, like, it took me a while to get that piece, because it is honestly everybody I went to high school with, and still people now that I encounter, and they're like, what's your major? And I'm like, I'm an art major. Everybody hates on it. So I don't know. I just wanted.
But for you specifically, like being in an artistic field, like even though it's not photography in college, the painting and the drawing and the sculpting is gonna like keep you from getting creative block. Like you're just using the parts of your brain that people who are just doing math all day, like they're not using that part.
And I think that also plays into the thing where everybody, they've always said like, do something you love for your career, and I feel like a lot of people are like scared to do that, which I was one of those people. I never thought I would be pursuing like art in a drawing, artsy, like sculpting, painting way, but also like a photography way. So I definitely think that if you're struggling right now, or it's your senior year or something, and you're trying to figure out what path to take, do the path that you love and the path that God points you to.
Do what you love, but know how to market it. You can do literally anything for a career if you can sell it. You know, like if you're good at marketing, if you're posting, if you're just like, hey, I love this, people will see that it's genuine. And if you're trying to get better at whatever craft it is, you know, whatever trade, if you want to go into a trade, you don't have to go to college. But you just have to know how to like sell, and you have to have the public relations skills.
And don't be afraid to reach out. I know like a lot of people that have like helped me in my journey, like sometimes I had to reach out to them, or like there's definitely people that want to help your small business or whatever like grow to be better. Like I know the town I live in, Harlem, Georgia, they're all about small businesses. So there's a coffee shop, Harlem Java House. They literally do artwork. They sell your artwork. They sell like jewelry you make. Like it's just, there's a ton of opportunities that you don't realize that are there. And the thing that will help you boost you and like put you out more publicly.
The thing is though, is like all that stuff is out in the real world. Like we're talking about like, oh, you have to post, you have to like market, and yes, that can be through all of like the social medias and stuff like that, but you also have to have like bravery and the courage to just go out and talk to people.
Yeah,
and thankfully, like with photography, we have no choice but to talk to people. But like you just have to put yourself out there and like get into the real business world. Like if you have older parents in a trade, they'll tell you about like networking and stuff. And it truly is like, who knows you? Real time, not social media, like not on Snapchat. Like Snapchat is irrelevant once you once you graduate.
Literally, I don't even use Snapchat anymore. I think it's definitely like word of mouth is a very, very big thing in what you're gonna pursue.
For sure.
Okay, Allie, let's tell them why we decided to call it Candid and Called.
Candid and Called. Okay, let's start with the first word, okay? Candid, because Emma was just telling me, like, we have our name written on our coffee cups, and so it's called Candid and Called, and she was like, Allie, like, the person who was writing it on there was like, what? What does that even mean?
Yeah, and I literally had to spell it out for her and then show her a picture because she still didn't understand.
Yeah, so Candid is like, candid photos are whenever like the people are just smiling and you catch them like in real life and they're not looking at you. They're not posed, like you're just catching an actual moment. And so candid essentially means just like real, genuine, in the moment. And so when you're having a candid conversation, it's kind of just like genuine, in the moment, raw, real. And so
unfiltered.
Unfiltered. So that's what we want this to be, is just like candid between us, candid conversations, candid where we're just genuine with you guys about what helps us in our business while we take candid photos. Because personally, like those are my favorite ones.
That's what I was just about to say. I feel like candid is definitely our favorite style of pictures.
Posed.
And it's always the sweetest ones.
Yes, posed is nice too, but like I tend to go for a lot more prompts. Like I'll be like, hey guys, like I want you to run up to each other, grab hands, and then just kiss her. Like just kiss all over her cheek. And then that's whenever you get like the best smiles, is whenever you're prompting them to do things that will just have them embrace each other and show their love for one another, instead of being like, oh, hold it, hand up, like let me fix that.
And I also feel like doing those candid photos, it also like gets the people out of their awkwardness, because I know like especially couple photos, like couple photos really are hard to get out, especially with the guy's perspective. And I know when I was in a couple and we took couple shots, like it was the most awkward thing ever for me. And so when you do those like candid, like okay, just kiss her like you love her, or like give her the biggest hug you can, or like chase her and like who can get there the fastest or whatever, like I feel like those definitely bring out the real laughs. And then after you do a couple of those, like they're more open and more comfortable with you, in a sense of now they're ready to smile and not be awkward smiling and all that stuff. So I feel like that's like a big factor in like bringing out their genuine self if they're more of like an introvert. Yeah.
And then to the second word of our name, called. Called is obviously like our calling to the business world, and our calling that we feel like God has placed on our life, because we know that God gives us gifts and talents, and obviously we both have an artistic ability. I have a business ability, to run things, to keep track of things, and so I just really truly feel like God has called me to this career pathway, and Emma too, and I feel like He called us to each other to be able to start stuff like this and to share our real raw emotions with you guys, because we're both more open, definitely like an open book, and maybe we're blunt, maybe a little too blunt sometimes, but we're trying to combine the best of ourselves, candid and called, to bring you guys something that will hopefully help out.
Yeah, for sure. I also like going along with that, when we first like rekindled after high school, we went to a coffee shop, or not a coffee shop.
We went to a breakfast. We went to First Watch.
Delish. And I thought it was going to be awkward. Like, we haven't seen each other in, 4 years?
Yeah,
almost?
4 years.
And we rekindled because we were like, we're going down the same path. Like, I feel like we were both, like, struggling sort of in the friend category. Like, a lot of people were off in college, and we still were, like, unsure on what we wanted to do. So, we got there, all the lore was dropped. I mean, you wouldn't even know we hadn't seen each other in 4 years.
We talked for like 2 hours at least, I think.
But going through a breakup, dropping all the boy lore, all
Yes.
the new candidates, all the sadness, like
Yes.
everything that you would think of was said during that. All of our craziness throughout high school, like it was just, we both are very open and vulnerable, and
Yeah, we just opened up and we told each
Yeah.
other, like, tell all ex-boyfriends. And then also, like, it is hard whenever you feel like everybody did leave.
yeah.
And we're just, like, stuck here. Like, that, it feels like that sometimes. And I did that with quotation marks if you're just listening.
Yeah.
But, like, obviously we're not stuck. We're choosing to be here for a season, you know, for such a time as this.
Yeah.
And so that's what I really love. Like, I love that
Yeah.
Bible verse too. Like, for such a time as this, like, you're meant to be here. You don't have to go away. Like, you're not supposed to run from this calling.
Yeah.
And it may be uncomfy sometimes, but, like, the Lord gives you people, and He gave us each other.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, it was definitely evident in the Lord in our conversations. A lot of our conversations was surrounded by God during that time, and like how we benefited from our hardship during that time, and like God really showing us who is there. And I feel like that is like evident to this day. Like that breakfast that we had, we talked about all different types of things of life, and
Yeah.
now we're sitting here on the podcast.
Yeah, we're literally thriving. Like, we were talking about how
Yeah.
sad we were,
Yeah, literally.
and like what all the things that went bad,
Yeah.
and now we're like starting a podcast
Yeah.
in our business suits, and we're businesswomen.
All from one little breakfast. It's just been uphill from there, like shooting together, like
Yeah.
doing different types of things, and which have led us to here. So God's definitely been evident in showing us this is our calling, and our calling together.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Especially once you weed out the distractions. Like, that was the most important thing,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think. And finding like-minded people. That was important. And, you know, like, you can be searching for like-minded people, and when you're trying to get plugged into community, like, sometimes you can find the wrong people, too.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's important to, like, give yourself grace while you're trying to figure it out. So, you know, not all will stick. We're not saying, like, just pick up any friend
Yeah.
that you find. Like, if you're a photographer, any photographer will be your friend. No, like, you definitely have to find the right people that are truly like-minded. Like, I want Emma to succeed, and she wants me to succeed, and we want to collab. Like, you don't want someone who's just gonna copy you, but put on a smile.
Yeah. Or like hang out with you and talk and all this stuff, but not encourage your page. Like I
Right.
know me and Allison, we both share each other's photography often, or we comment on each other's stuff a lot, which I think is unusual for a lot of people in our community, because we have a tinier community which is full of photography.
Yes.
And so it's definitely like really competitive in our area, and you can like talk to a photographer in person and then they just never like encourage you, never like, especially starting your journey. So it's definitely important to like pray that God brings the right people into your life, and to like be open and vulnerable with people, because I think that's a very important thing, but also to stand your ground and not let people push you over, especially
Right.
like in the business world, because once someone does that, it's like once someone pushes you down, it's going to take a lot to pull you back up. So
Right.
you have to stand firm in the Lord, and stand firm in your business.
Yeah, and He will give you that boldness too. And like, of course, the Lord will put things on our heart. So like, hey, like, help this person out, do this, do that. But like, there does come a point in business where you have to stand your ground, and it's not being rude.
I think it's definitely been a thing me and Allison both had to learn, just because we both are, I feel like we're both people pleasers in a sense. So especially with you being your own boss, you marketing your stuff, you pricing what you think you deserve, that has been a hard thing for both of us. We always talk about this too. Like, are we charging too much? Are we charging too little? Are we not giving enough pictures? Are we giving too many pictures?
Right.
Like, what is the good balance between that?
Yeah, it's hard to find, but I think we're doing a good job.
And it took us a lot to get here, and to actually stand our ground with people and not let them use our time wisely.
Yeah, well, not to, we don't want people to take advantage of us.
That is the word I was looking for.
But like, people will try
Oh,
to
yeah.
take advantage of you, and like, you give them a price and they try to like whittle you down, or they act like, well, I just want this and I just want that. Like, no, you do have to stand firm, because you're respecting yourself at that point. Like, you're worth something. Your time is worth something.
And you don't want to, like, this is something we love and we're passionate about, and you don't never want to down that in a sense. Like, I know some from experience, like people, I'll give them a price and they'll tell me this thing, and then I'll get to the place and I'll start photographing and all, and then they'll be like, oh, I want this and I want this, and you're there for 3 more hours, and like, I didn't have the heart to tell them at the time that, oh, you owe me more money for that. So it's definitely, you don't want to overwork yourself or underprice yourself, because then that puts you in a position of where you're like kind of upset that you have to edit all these pictures, or you're kind of like mad, or like you don't want to do it, and that's like something you don't want in the thing that you love.
You don't want to get into like resentment, even with people, with customers. We're learning though. We're learning how to set boundaries, and we're learning more business things, and like recently I've gotten into like websites and invoices, all the fun businessy things, but having those boundaries I feel like protects us especially.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Contracts. If somebody signs something, they signed it. So
deposits. A lot of people have, like, they'll send you up. You'll have 5 people that want pictures for their senior year in the month of May as a beginner. 3 of those people cancel, and then you have to tell other people no that day. So it's just like, what is gonna benefit you? Are you gonna be able to take 5 people's pictures, or are those 5 people gonna cancel on you, and then you can't get another 5 people? So it's like, you have to remember, this is your job, this is your career, this is what you're passionate about. So to make sure that you are actually
sticking up for yourself, getting what you're worth.
So Allie, what do you think was a big thing that you've learned during this journey of starting photography?
I feel like I've learned a lot about myself through this business process too. Like, as much as you're learning about business, as much as you're learning how to like work with other people, I feel like I've learned that like I am bad at people pleasing. Like, you do have to stand your ground, yes, that, but also like I'm really hard on myself. And so I have to choose not to be self-deprecating, and I have to choose to have grace in the slow seasons. And so like when things are slow, I try to take advantage of it and like not even worry about business, like go for walks and stuff like that, and just really take it easy, because I know that whenever it picks up, it'll pick up fast too. So I tend to have like everything all at once, and then whenever it's slow, like it's just so slow. And so it feels kind of weird and it feels inconsistent, but I've learned that like have grace on myself as like we have grace on other people. And like you don't have to prove anything. Like, as hard as I'm watching myself, nobody else is watching me that hard. Nobody else is checking my Instagram to see if it's aesthetic every day. Like, they're not checking like the color schemes of like how it's coordinating. And so like you truly are like your biggest critic. And I feel like I've learned that. And then like anxiousness too. Like, even before a session, I'll just I just get so anxious. I'm like, I don't know how to talk to these people. And that's whenever like I just turn on my worship music on the way, and I'm like no, a sound mind, I can do this. Like, it's just talking. And so I feel like I've learned a lot about like my personality and how to deal with anxiety and how to deal with you know, not thinking you're good enough through having a product that people have to like, you know.
I feel like that goes in with the competitive thing, like photography, but it's also like you're competing against yourself in a sense. Like, you're definitely your biggest critic, like you said. So
you also have to be responsible for everything yourself, which like you think that it's amazing and a blessing, and it is, because like you have all the freedom in the world. Like, me and Emma can just be like, hey, like, let's go edit at this coffee shop tomorrow, and other people have to like clock in. But they're not responsible for that. Like, they just have to go and do their job, like labor, but somebody else is in charge of what they're doing. But like, we have to do the labor, the in charge of things, like the motivation to get up and do something. You
don't have someone to ask, like, say it started pouring down rain or something, and you don't know what to do, like, or you had a really cloudy day and you've only been working with sun. It's like something that you can't just go and ask your boss, oh,
are we still going to do this today? Like, you have to make the decision.
I feel like that goes into what I've learned. Like, I have been a terrible decision maker like my whole life. I hate making decisions. I don't like being like, I guess, in the spotlight in a sense. Like, I've never been the one to like hold conversations with people or anything like that. I was the introvert. Even in high school, like, I would never expect me sophomore year to be me right now, talking on a podcast or having conversations with the people that I have conversations with that I'm taking pictures of.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely showed me to be like more bold in my decisions, more confident in my decisions. It showed me that I need to like trust myself more in a sense. And like even now I'll be taking pictures and I'm thinking in my head, these are gonna look so bad. And every time I think that, they turn out to be like my favorite pictures I've ever taken.
Right.
So it's definitely more of a like something I've had to learn is to trust myself and to trust this is where God wants me and not to like overthink or second guess myself.
Yeah. I do. I overthink and I second guess myself too, but I wasn't an introvert in high school. I was very extroverted and I was putting myself out there all the time and like trying to earn attention from others or to feel like validated. Like that was probably more of my issue, was like needing someone else to tell me I'm doing good.
Yeah.
And so like when you don't have that, when you're your own boss, whenever there isn't somebody just telling you constantly like, hey, you're doing good, like that is where I get the anxiousness and stuff from. So Emma, like since our breakfast meeting, whenever we both, like we were still growing in the Lord, and of course we still are, but like what are some things that you've been doing since then, and even like since your breakup, since starting this business, like what are some things that you've added to like grow closer to the Lord intentionally?
I think the word is like a very, very big piece in this huge thing we call faith. I think that being in the word is also like a lot of people find it difficult, which I've found it difficult plenty of times, and like to this day sometimes it's still a struggle. But I think that really like holding myself accountable for like reading my Bible every day, even though I've definitely failed within however many months ago that was, or year. Has it been a year?
It was like the beginning of this year. I think it was March.
Yeah, so
And we're
almost a
in
year.
October.
Yeah.
Almost a year, yeah.
So I definitely think that reading my Bible has definitely played a big role. I think praying, like I used to struggle with prayer a lot, and I feel like ever since I like really include God like as he's my best friend, I think some people find him more of like a thing you do before bed, a thing you do before dinner, but I'll be driving in my car and I'm like, Lord, give me the patience to go take these people's pictures that have literally driven me crazy this whole time, which I love all my people, but you get in your head a lot, and when these people have like high expectations for you, it's like stresses you out, and you're like, are you going to be good enough for them? So you have to like ask for a prayer, and he'll just give you the peace of mind. And I think praying, like talking to him like a friend, like a casual friend, not just like the Lord of our lives, which he is the Lord of our lives, but he also wants to be our best friend. So I think
Closer than a brother.
Yeah. So I think definitely praying and talking to him as a best friend and reading my Bible every single day and going to church. Like,
yeah, that's probably my number one, is that I got plugged in with my young adults group at New Life, and I go every Tuesday. I'm at church on Sundays. I go to the functions that we have, the hangouts, and it's still hard to find friends because I still feel like I'm the youngest of the young adults group because we're the ones that stayed home and everybody just went back to college. But definitely like finding leaders. I feel like seeking wise counsel. The Bible says to seek wise counsel, and that's what I did. And you know, like you plug in with them whenever you don't know what you're doing. Like they have nothing to do with photography most of the time, but they know how to tell me like, Allison, it's okay. Like you're doing good. Yeah. We're proud of you.
Having that community is very important, and I think like having Allison like by my side through this last year, and like I've prayed because when we had that breakfast with Allison a while ago, it was like I was made new again in a sense. Like I had redirected my life, and I was like getting baptized and all this stuff a couple months later, and so I was really like pushing forward, like actually pursuing God in my relationship. And I think like having those people that encourage you when you're down, or like post about the Lord and like are really like bold in their faith. I think having those people around you and surrounding yourself with the good people that love God and not just people that kind of go to church on Sundays, kind of read their Bible, because they're not going to help you and push you when you're down in those holes. So
Yeah. But, like, you take turns being down. Like,
Yeah.
you know, neither of us have it perfect.
Yeah.
I for sure don't. You know, like, it's so hard not to get back into, like, the bad habits and stuff.
Yeah.
But just finding people who, like, will encourage you when you're down. Like, you need somebody who's going to be, like, the stronger whenever you're not.
Yeah. And I feel like that goes with, like, some people say it's not important who you surround yourself with. And I used to think that, like, I'm not hating on anybody, because in high school, I had friends that a lot of people, like, judged me for, or, like, groups or parties or anything like that I would go to that people would hate on me for. I feel like that really goes into, like, who you should surround yourself with, because at the end of the day, it's whether you're pulling them more off the tracks to go to the Lord, or if they're pulling you off the tracks. So it really goes into, like, yes, you can be around people that you want to get better in their relationship with Christ, but it's like, are you doing better in your relationship with Christ, or are you falling apart in your relationship with Christ? So it's definitely nice having Allie as a best friend. She has a heart for the Lord, and that is who you need to surround yourself with. Get you a friend like Allie.
Get you a friend like Emma, okay? Get you a friend like Emma. Because she's literally the sweetest ever. Like, she's so encouraging, and that's why it's important. Like, a sweet friendship refreshes the soul. Isn't that what the Bible says?
Yep, that is what the
And
Bible
it does.
says.
But it took forever to find
Yeah.
someone who...
Patience.
Yes, patience. And just, like, really praying. Like, I would also say, like, it took a choice for the Lord to bless me. Like, we were both in a relationship, and I know for me, like, in that time period, it just was not serving me anymore. But I wasn't hearing from the Lord anymore, because there was things in my life that was, like, just blocking that, and I wasn't pursuing him, like, fully. And so because I wasn't hearing him, like, I was like, God, like, tell me if I'm supposed to break up with him or not.
Yeah.
And there was nothing. Like, I wasn't hearing. I just had to make that choice. And then whenever I made that choice, like, to turn to just a whole different path, you know, stop pursuing things that were old, breaking up with, I even moved churches, you know, broke up with my ex. And then, like, I had to cut off a lot of other friendships too. And only whenever I started making those decisions to, like, kind of cleanse my life from the things that were, like, holding me to my past was when the Lord blessed me with my future.
Yeah.
You know,
for
like,
sure.
the future friendships and the things that were pure and holy and, like, seeking him.
Yeah. I think that is very, very important to, like, realize too. And I've even talked to people now, and, like, some of the people I've taken pictures of, which is, like, crazy. God really, like, is so evident in everything that you do. But everybody that I've talked to that has, like, been at that stage and, like, who they are now, they had to go through you had to cut people off, like, you had to start new, like, literally be made new. And I feel like that's, like, a huge thing to, like, realize.
Like, you have to make the choice is the thing you have to realize. Like, you just pray, like, God, send me my friends, and you, like, just expect him to do it without you actively making that choice. But, like, no, it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. And it's, a lot of people don't want to be in that hard, uncomfortable phase of life, but that is how you grow and how flowers bloom and how you can be here right now. Like, if I used to think, like, in my past relationship, it was, like, God-centered. I was God-centered. Like, I was, like, the best in my relationship with God. I was, like, no, it was not. I was so far away from God, and it was, like, I had this idea in my head. I'm telling myself that I was God-centered and God is my priority, when it was far from that. So when God took my ex-boyfriend out of my life, it was like, dang, bam, there goes a distraction.
Yeah.
God's more evident in my view of life. And then, bam, some of my friends and me, like, I had to leave them, or it was like drama happened and friends are gone, and it's like, dang, I see God more. And it's just like, God, like, will open up things in your life that make you feel uncomfortable, and hardships and all. But it's like, once those hardships, like, simmer down, it's like, wow, you can really see the path
he was
that
there
God
the whole
wants
time.
you to. Yeah.
And so it's just so important not to blame him for the things that are going wrong, but to realize that a blessing's going to come from it.
Yeah. And everything happens for a reason. Like, God lets everything happen for a reason. So when I thought that I was a God-centered person, made me become a God-centered person. Like, it really showed me how evident God was in my hardships, and it really made me, when I lost those friends or when I lost my boyfriend, it really made me like redirect my whole self as a person. And at the time, I was so confident. I was like, I don't want to be in that relationship. Like, I don't want these friends. And I didn't like see God at that moment. But when you take a step back and you look back and the breakup like actually hits you, like your friendships being done actually hit you, like you really see like who you were as a person with those people in your life, which is a hard, uncomfortable thing to realize, but it's what shows you who you are now.
Right.
And blossoms all this stuff.
Like how are we here?
I have no
in podcast chairs.
Yeah, literally.
If you would have told like Emma and Allison while they were still dating those boys, and again, like not to hate on them, they're pursuing the Lord still. Like everybody's on their own journey.
I feel like all of us have really became like closer with the Lord in a sense. And
after the breakup, like even both of the boys, like they pursued the Lord separately. Like that's what you need sometimes, is just be separated so that there's no distractions.
And I feel like that's what is like a hardship during a breakup. Like I love people with my whole heart. Like I'm a big lover
Me
girl.
too, yeah.
So like you still have love for those people, and I have no hate towards my ex, and I don't really think Allie does either.
At first it was really hard for me, but
me too.
But then like you realize like we're all on our own journey, and there's a reason why people act the way that they do.
And there's a reason why God wanted all of us to break up, because it all made us closer to the Lord at the end of the day. And I think that is like a really important aspect to take yourself out of the situation and out of the like toxicness that you or your partner created, and like really see the overall picture, which is always ends up being God wanted this for us. God needed us to be a part to grow in ourselves and
to grow in our business. No, exactly, because like we would not be where we are if we wouldn't have gone through a breakup. And like that's just being a girl like in your teens and your 20s for you. Like we just got on breakup lore for like the last couple minutes, but it's because it's that big of a deal. Like who you're dating is that big of a deal, and like what is right in front of you and what you're focusing on is the biggest part. And so like we grew in our business because we started focusing on business, not boyfriend.
Because he took those distractions out of our life for sure. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, that's not to say that you can't be in a relationship, but obviously a healthy, loving one. And sometimes like those are, you have to be patient. Yeah. That's what we're trying to say.
That's like also like both of our relationships came out of high school. Like a lot of people in high school still don't know who they are, which I didn't really know who I am. Like I feel like now, like this season I'm in of life right now is like really me blossoming to who I want to be and who I am and who I want to surround myself with and what I want in a marriage in my future. And that was way different than what it was a year ago when I was in a relationship and when I was graduating high school and all.
We've also had the bravery to like dream bigger than we ever thought we could. Like obviously like we're starting a podcast and like we probably were like, oh, this is crazy, but like we're doing it anyway. And so me and Emma are like dreaming bigger, and it's like you can't expect someone to, you know,
do it for you.
Yeah, you can't expect someone to do it for you, and you also can't expect to be with somebody, like dating them, and to just be like, you know, pursuing these huge dreams and like dragging them along with you. Like you have to be able to establish something by yourself and know your vision before you can be with someone. Yeah. And so that's why we click so well together, because like we both got these big dreams and like we want to partner together to do that. So
I feel like that goes along with like standing firm in the Lord. And like when I gotten into my past relationship, I wasn't standing firm in the Lord. And you can't stand firm in the Lord, stand like your boyfriend is like your whole life, which was definitely me. I mean,
which isn't healthy.
And
like we both had to learn that like you can't, but as you know, previous people pleasers, I don't want to say we are anymore, because you know you have to work on it, but like you just want everything to be perfect and you want to serve him, and you know,
I feel like that's like you can't have like a boyfriend as your center view, and then God sort of as your center view, and then your business like sort of as your center view. It has to be like straight firm God, boyfriend God-centered, business God-centered.
Which I can tell you that's where I went wrong a lot, was like I was so boyfriend that I put him on a pedestal that like he couldn't handle. Like nobody's meant to carry that. And so like there was too much pressure on him from
Yeah.
me. I can openly say that like he was my whole world, but it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
That's too much pressure for one person to have to carry, and that's like codependent. So
Yeah.
now
for
we're
sure.
independent, Christ-centered,
Yep.
candid and called.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. So why do you feel like now is the right time to start this podcast? We kind of just talked about it. Like we're both just growing and thriving.
I feel like it's definitely like our mission behind the podcast is to obviously help people that are in the same phase of life that we're in, but also to help like youngers that are trying to start a business or trying to pursue what they want to pursue in life, but to also like really show how God's brought us this far and like show God's evidence in like our life, how he's shown us who we should become now. And I think that's really like why it's a perfect time to start this podcast, is because literally almost a year ago we were both like in the same position,
Totally different people than we are now.
I feel like we both were pretty cloudy minded in a sense, and like now the Lord has really like shown us the right way, shown us like what is expected in a God-centered relationship, what is expected in a God-centered business,
right,
and what should be your priority overall in life. And I feel like that's why right now is a great time, because we're pursuing what God's calling us to, and it
feels peaceful. We both have peace to start something like as big as this, and to just trust like where it's going to go. Like we trust the Lord. We have the skills. He's blessed us with the ability to be brave with our careers, and so that we've acquired these new skills. And it's really great.
Yeah. That's why it's a perfect time, because we're chasing after our dreams, chasing after the Lord as the priority.
Yeah, what are you most excited for, like, with future episodes? Like,
I guess I'm excited to be, like, myself.
Yeah, I'm excited to get in here and yap.
I'm excited for people to see us as ourselves now, because right now, I mean, we have people, we have a community, but, like, all the people that follow us or, like, watch us or like saw us from the start, we're like completely different now. So I'm like excited for people to like hear our story and hear and see our growth, and just to see how far we've came since where we started. Yeah, for sure. Who's somebody you would be excited to have on the podcast with us? I know I would be so excited. We shoot at Opal Bay Studio in Augusta, and I would be so excited to have the owner on here with us. Megan, she's also a photographer, and I feel like she would be really great to be on here. Yeah, she's super sweet, super knowledgeable, and like she's been doing photography for a while, so she definitely would have a lot of tips for future photographers, but business women as that, and like her hardships too, because she is really pursuing her dream right now, and she's really in
she just opened this studio. Like that is so boss babe.
Literally. So she is definitely a good candidate, or someone I would be excited to bring on. Yeah, for sure. You can connect with us through our Instagram. We have our podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube, and I think we're going to be making like YouTube vlogs. So you can watch us on YouTube, watch us on Instagram, and send us a DM. Like, we would love that. Yeah. Give us all your feedback. Comment, like, and reshare. Hit the subscribe button. Yeah, exactly. Listen to us while you're editing your pictures, or you're going on your morning walk, or about to head into your business meeting. For sure. For some encouragement. And to just hear the real talk between some other girls who are like where you've been or where you're at right now. We'll try to keep you guys updated as much as possible on our lives and the BTS of our careers. See you on the next episode. Candid and Called with Emma and Allie, out.